Hello, I'm Humphrey Claxton and I'm the chairman of the Kelsall Patient Participation Group, and I'm leading the charge on the fundraising. I just wanted to have a word about the need for the Wellbeing Hub, and I'll tell you why I think we really need the hub later, but I want to start just by thinking about those people who are saying that actually Kelsall doesn't need something like the Wellbeing Hub. To hold that view, I think you have to believe two things. One is that there are no people who have suffering in their lives who could not benefit from something like the Wellbeing Hub. And the other thing is that if there are such people, that anything that the Wellbeing Hub could offer actually wouldn't help their situation. So two things there. There aren't any people who need it, and even if they did, it wouldn't do any good. Well, I don't believe that. I'm very sure that there are people in Kelsall and around who need something like the Wellbeing Hub. We've recently heard from two of them, Davina and Lynn, and there'll be many, many more stories like that. The thing about it is, if people are anxious and suffering in their lives, how do we know that? If we see them shopping in the co-op, how do we know what's inside their mind and what anxieties they have, what troubles they have, what help they need? We can't look at people who are apparently going about their lives in ordinary ways and saying there is somebody who has no problems. I listen to the doctors. The doctors say that they see people in their surgery on a daily basis who have these sorts of troubles and whose issues can't be resolved with medication, and who maybe wouldn't even get sick if they had help for the issues that they're dealing with. I think the doctors know better than we do, and if the doctors are telling us that there is a need amongst the 5,200 people for whom they care, then I believe them. But they also tell us that there are things that we can do in the Wellbeing Hub that would help such people, would help them stay well, would help them to lead healthier, happier lives. I don't know whether you know this, but in the government strategy on loneliness, they state very clearly that loneliness is a bigger killer than tobacco, alcohol and obesity. In fact, the biggest determinant of long life is social contact, and that is face-to-face contact. And this is all the result of serious research. It's not just me saying these things or reporting stories that I've heard. So I could say that I don't need this hub, and I don't at the moment anyway, I'm happy to say. But I can foresee situations in which to have the support that will be available in the hub, should we get to build it, would be incredibly valuable. I'm in my 70s now, and either myself or my wife is going to die first. And I'm absolutely sure that in dealing with that bereavement, one or other of us is going to lean heavily on the kind of support that's available in the hub. And that's because we don't have family in the area, and because we've moved around a lot in our lives, and our children have moved away. And I don't think we're unique in the village in that respect at all. In the old days, people stayed put and the extended family was there to care. That's much less true nowadays. So it could be in the future of great value. And I think a lot of people are in the position of saying, I don't need this, so the village doesn't need it. Well, I don't think the one follows from the other. So I would very much urge everybody to think about it and come to a conclusion as to whether maybe, if they're of the view that we don't need this hub, maybe they need to think a bit more deeply about it and maybe come to a different conclusion. I'm sure that the amount of money that we raise, and hopefully it will be enough, is very much dependent on whether people believe we need this or not, as well, of course, on the ability to make a contribution. So it's very important for me that we really do think very seriously about whether we need this or not. And I think my position is very clear. If the doctors tell me we need it, we need it. I'm working very closely with Dr. Baker on this. And I think we could look at it in this way. The doctors are in charge of the health and well-being of this community, and their prescription for the health and well-being of Kelsall and surrounding area is, number one, we need a new medical centre, and number two, we need a wellbeing hub. And as all good patients, when the doctor gives me a prescription, I take it, and I urge you to support the project. And the most practical way of supporting the project is either to make a donation or to buy a bond. So I hope that you will join me in doing that. So thanks for listening, and thanks for your support. Bye now.